Hello again. Now I hope you can see what's being displayed here. It doesn't look too flash through the camera viewfinder, to be perfectly honest, but let's we'll persevere. You may hear a slight hissing noise when I press the PTT. That's a switch mode power supply. It's not getting saggy, but it does make a little bit of noise when it's when you load it up. I think it's a 25 amp supply. Actually, no, it's a 15 amp supply, so we're running it a little bit close to the maximum. We'll be pulling about 10 amps out of it. Now the 857 is drawing 0.6 amps. That's just sitting there, squelched. If I open the squelch, it goes up to 0.9 amps. That's about the sort of current it's going to pull when there's audio coming out of the speaker. And just sitting there, squelched on 2 meters, it's pulling 0.8 amps. Got it set to 50 watts output. Just going to press the PTT. There we go, getting about 41 watts out of it. Now I'm just going to reduce that, reduce the supply voltage just to see how much effect that has on the output power. So first of all, we've got 13.8 volts, 9.2 amps, 41 watts. Now if you look at the voltage indicator in the top right hand corner of the display, it says 13.8 volts, that says 13.8 volts. When I push the PTT, that remains at 13.8 volts, and this shows 13.2 volts. So we're losing 0.6 of a volt across the power cable and the fuses. Okay, so let's just wind that down. Let's make that 12.8. Now it's 12.8 volts. Yeah, that's about 40.5 watts. So we've lost about half a watt there. Still pulling about the same sort of current. 9.2 amps, 40 watts, so 12.8 volts. Showing 12.4 volts on there, so 12.4 volts is what's actually powering the PA at the moment. Let's turn it down to 11.8. Okay, there's 11.8 volts. It's actually saying 11.9 there, but that's sort of teetering on the edge of 11.9. And that's probably 39.5 watts, so that's still looking pretty good. With 11.3 volts displayed in the top right hand corner, set to 50 watts, we're still getting best 40 watts, a little bit of needle's breadth out of it. Remember, we only got 41 watts out of it with full supply volts, so that's really good. So if you're operating portable, you know that you can see 11.3 volts in that top right hand corner, and you're still getting very good output power. Less than 2 watts, not even 2 watts less than you would on full power on 13.8 volts. So we'll take it down to 10.8, which is really quite cheeky. I haven't read the book, as you've probably gathered, with my fumblings on here with the 857 recently. Okay, so it's 10.8 volts, showing 10.9. Pulling a little less than 9 amps, showing 10.4 up here, and that has dropped fairly significantly. That's 33 watts, so that's dropped 7 watts. Actually 8 watts, so that's 8 watts from the full supply voltage. So if you go down to 10.8 volts, you're losing a reasonable amount of power. But 34 watts, that's still pretty respectable, I think. And we'll just really take the mick here and go down to 10 volts. 10 volts indicated, and that's 29 watts, so it really doesn't like that very much. So if you're operating portable, you know that you can go to 11 volts You can go all the way down to 11 volts, 11.1 volts indicated there, and you're still going to get almost all of the original output power. It's what, 6 watts less. So if you're getting 41 watts out of it, the power supply sags down, so you're only getting 10.5 volts indicated on there. You're only losing 6 watts, 7 watts. And you know, on a 41 watt transmission, no one's really going to notice you winding 6 or 7 watts off it. So I reckon that is pretty good. Now we'll just see what it's like on UHF, see if it's similar. I hope this is in focus and you can actually see what this is all showing, but I won't know until I play it back, but I'll persevere. Let's put the UHF slug in, and we'll go up to 70 centimeters, and we'll check the output power, set to 20 watts, and we'll just set it to 13.8 volts. They do say don't run these radios on more than 14 volts. 13.8 volts is pretty nominal. 13.8 volts, 13.8 volts indicated. Press the PTT, what do we get? Mm, 17 watts. So set to 20 watts with the normal operating voltage, we get 17 watts out of it. I'll set it to 12.8, and that's made absolutely no difference whatsoever. It's 12.4 volts indicated in the top right hand corner there, so if you're out operating portable you see 12.4 volts in there, you know you're still getting full output power. Make it 11.8 volts. Oh, and that's still the same. So this is, I think this is doing a little bit better than 2 meters, isn't it? So that's still full output power. That's still 17 watts with 11.8 volts. 11.5 volts indicated there. And we'll just take it down to 10.8. Draws a little bit less current on 70 centimeters. And that's still the same. That's still 17 watts. That's really, so with 10.4 volts indicated in the top right hand corner, you're still getting the same output power as we were with the 13.8 volts. That's really quite amazing. And just to be really cheeky, as we did before, let's take it down to 10 volts. And we've got 9.6 volts indicated there, and we're still getting 17 watts out of it. So that's quite interesting. I can't test it on HF, so I haven't got any of these. These slugs are frequency specific. You can probably see that. That's 100, 250 megs, 50 watts, and this one's 400 to 1000 meg at 50 watt slug for, you know, for this one for the 70 sems and the other one for 2 meters. And as you can see, the received current 0.7, 0.8. If it was actually generating audio, it'd probably draw a little bit more than that. So, but just be mindful if you're going to use one of these portable, that when it's just sitting there and you're just looking at it and it's squelched, it's probably going to be drawing 0.7, 0.8 amps. All right. Well, I hope you find that interesting. That was just we were talking about this on the 2 meter repeater yesterday, and someone was saying they got an ICOM 718 and the output drops like a rock when the supply voltage drops by, you know, a volt or two. So I just thought I'd try the 857D and just see how the output of this particular radio held up with reduced supply voltages, and I'm really happy with that. I think that worked very, very well indeed. So I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching.